Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Chase here at Rocky Mountain. Thank you so much for stopping by. So today I have the new Fox V3 helmet. Now, for 2023, well, starting a little bit before that, Fox has gone through and kind of revamped their whole helmet line. So you now have three different options. You have the new V3 RS, and RS stands for Race Spec. That is their premium option. That's going to be Adam Cianciarulo, Ken Roczen, Tim Geiser. That's what all those guys are wearing. Now you have the new V3, and then they got rid of the old V2. The V2 is no longer around, and then you have the V1. So there's three helmets in their lineup. And what's cool about the V3 is that shell design, shell shape, it is very, very similar, almost the exact same, but not quite, as the new V3 RS. And if you see, there's the V1s that are behind me hanging up. So the V1 shell is going to be a little bit different than the V3, the V3 RS, but they're all very similar. And what's cool though is that Fox, when it comes to their fit of their helmets, they're using the same head shape and head form for the molds for all their helmets now. So it doesn't matter if you had the V1, you want to upgrade to a V3 or step up to the V3 RS, all the helmets are going to fit the same. So you don't have to wonder if one's going to fit a little bit different. Now keep in mind, so I have the V3 RS. I haven't ridden in just the V3, but for me, the V3 RS, it's a very comfortable helmet. I wear a size medium. I use the sizing guide. It fits me spot on. So refer to that when you are looking to get yours. But remember, we do have a fit guarantee. So if you buy this or any helmet that we sell for that matter, if you don't like how it fits, send it back to us in brand new, unused condition. It's important you get the fit that's going to be best for you. So we give you free shipping both ways on your first exchange. All right, so looking at it, you can see compared to the previous V3 and now with the new V3 RS, a little bit different styling with the shell. And really, when I was talking to the people over at Fox, one of the things that they wanted to do with this helmet was they wanted to simplify it a little bit. If you look at the previous V3, it's a little bit more aggressive with some of the lines and the edges that are on it. And so they wanted to simplify it. One, it's going to help reduce the size of the shell. Getting rid of some of those lines and edges, they say actually help reduce the weight, which that is one thing about this helmet that I do appreciate, is that a size large in this comes in at 2 pounds, 14 ounces. Pretty dang light, considering that this is a fiberglass composite shell, so it's not carbon fiber. So to have a size large come in at that weight, it's pretty dang impressive. Now it is going to be DOT certified and meet the new 2206 ECE certification. And so that is one thing to keep in mind. So with the V3 composite fiberglass shell, full carbon is when you jump up to the V3 RS. And there are a few different safety features. I'll point out some of the big differences between this and the RS version to help you decide which one you might want to go with if you want to step up, spend the extra money to go with the RS. But overall, very lightweight. I like the new shell design. I like how it's simplified. Again, give me your thoughts, comment down below. What do you like? What do you dislike? Because I think since the new Fox helmets came out, they're pretty polarizing. Some people really, really like them. Some people really, really don't like it, but I kind of like to hear your thoughts on it. But another cool thing about this is you actually have 5 different shell and EPS sizes, which is pretty rare. A lot of, we see 4 pretty often nowadays, but 5 shell sizes. It's really cool because that way it just allows Fox to give you the best fitting helmet depending on the size that you're wearing. And they're not going to take, say, a large shell and then have to just add a whole bunch of extra EPS and make the comfort liner super thick to size it down to a smaller head size. So they're just giving you more options to give you the best fit possible. As far as venting goes on this, so you've got 6 intakes. You've got these big vents here just above the eye port. You've got your vents on the chin bar. When you flip it around and look at the back here, you can see you got 4 exhaust vents here on the back of the helmet to get the hot air out. Now, if you were comparing this to the V3 RS, one of the main differences for the venting standpoint is right up here on top. You see where you have these little indentations. So if this were the RS helmet, those are actually going to be vents as well. So the RS is going to get more air circulating and out of the helmet than just the V3 is going to. So that is one of the major differences. Also, is from a weight factor, I will say that the V3 RS is, I want to say, about 4 or 5 ounces lighter than the V3. So if you are shopping for a super lightweight helmet, if that is important to you, this is already light, but if you want super lightweight, yeah, you'd want to go check out the RS version. Okay, as far as the visor goes, this is a welcome change. The visor is now adjustable. So you can see right here, you have this center screw. So if you want, there's 3 different locations for the visor. So if you want to drop it down, there's one, there's a second location. So 3 total, easy just to pop back up. I like too that you can adjust it on the fly and you do have those detents. So you just move it down and it's gonna stay in place for you. When you buy this helmet, you are going to have extra hardware for the visor that will come included. Another cool little feature too that Fox is including, so they are going to include a visor extension for this helmet. So for rain, muddy conditions, you need that extra length on the visor when you're ducking your head. There will be a visor extension that's going to come on this. And then on the bottom side here, so we'll get to the interior in just a moment, but so with the cheek pads, you've got these tabs here. That's for the quick release or the emergency release system, just to help pull the cheek pads out a little bit easier. If a rider goes down, you want to get those out before you take the helmet off. But the final version, so what Fox told me is that they decided after is to add 2 extra loops here on this left side for a hydration tube. So you'll be able to, if you're doing a hands-free hydration setup, you can route your sip tube right through here, and then there will be an extra mouth guard that they include that will have a hole right in the center with a grommet, so you can actually route your hydration tube right through the mouth guard for hands-free hydration. So for off-road riders that wear a hydration pack, they're thinking about those riders as well, which is pretty dang cool. All right, so that is your outside. Let's talk about the inside real quick. So the cheek pads, well, let me pull this out. So you have the Ionic Plus Comfort Liner, which is moisture wicking, antimicrobial. It is a nice premium comfort liner, very soft, very comfortable when you have it on. With the cheek pads, little bit of advice here. When you're pulling these out, so you notice that I can actually lift these up. So it's a little bit different design. I'll show you this once I pull these out. But when you go to pull the cheek pads out, don't pull up like this to get these out. You want to pull down. It's gonna make it much easier. I'll tell you why you wanna do that right now. Because with this new design, see how the snaps are sitting on these little tabs that fold up? If you try and pull up when you're pulling these out, you're gonna be pulling these out like this. You just have the chance of possibly damaging or tearing one of those, which you don't wanna do. So just make sure pull down, you don't have to worry about that. All right, like I said, Ionic Plus, you can see moisture wicking. It has an extra fabric in there. It's antimicrobial, super comfortable. Pull out the comfort liner real quick. No thrills, basic, gets the job done. Okay, so on the inside, another cool little feature here. You notice that Fox is including speaker cutouts. So it's a standard size that's gonna fit most Bluetooth comm speakers that are on the market, and which I think is great because a lot of riders now, even in just off-road helmets, are using a Bluetooth comm system. So now you can just tuck the speakers right in there. They're not gonna be in the way. Now when you get to the actual safety factor here, so the V3 is using the MIPS liner system, and I like that they're using the black MIPS liner. I think it's just a stealthier look. It's not gonna stick out as much, but we all are pretty familiar with MIPS at this point, multi-directional impact protection system. That's what it stands for. You can see what it does. When I take my hand, I can move it around. It moves in every direction. The purpose for MIPS is to help mitigate and slow down rotational and rotational acceleration in those angular forces, because when you do have a crash, a term that Fox used is decouple. So you want to separate your head from the helmet, so when you do hit the deck, your head can continue to rotate just a little bit. We're talking about milliseconds, but your head can continue rotating inside the helmet and not come to that abrupt stop, and that's going to reduce a lot of those forces to the head. And then inside there, on the other side, you have the dual density EPS liner. Again, dual density to help with the lower and the high-speed impacts. So with the V3, couple cool little features that we haven't seen yet really is you got the visor extension, the separate mouth guard, which I think is great. And then again, from here, you step up to the V3 RS. Now the big safety differences between this and the RS, and you need to go watch that product spotlight because we break it down in detail, is the new V3 RS. It's lighter, it's got the carbon fiber shell, but it also does have the MIPS Integra split system, which is one of the latest innovations from MIPS. And so basically you have 2 EPS liners inside there. There's actually a split right down the middle. You don't see the MIPS liner. It actually sits between the layers of EPS, and it just allows as much movement as possible inside the helmet. So pretty unique. Again, go watch that product spotlight. If you bump down to the V1, some of the big differences there is you're not getting that visor extension. You don't get the extra mouth guard for the hydration tube. That's just going to be a polycarbonate shell, not the fiberglass composite. You're still getting the MIPS liner system, and you're not going to have as premium of a comfort liner in the V1. But if you do have questions or comments, so we would love to get those answers. So make sure, please, leave those down below. To grab a new V3 to see all the different color options available, click the link or head over to RockyMountainATVMC.com. Don't forget, we ship for free over 75 bucks. And as always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you never miss out on videos like this. I'm Chase, We'll see you on the trails.